Greetings and welcome. Good afternoon. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from at this time. I'm so delighted that you are joining us and you have joined us for our JPL review show for this week. It is round 10, and as usual, I'll be joined by Mr. Rudolph Speid. We do this show together. We do a review and a preview of the review of the past week and a preview of the weekend fixtures. All right, I'm wearing my Jamaican colors because if you don't know, or you didn't know, or you haven't heard, the Reggae Boys take on Mexico today, this evening at 9 p.m. in the Azteca in World Cup qualifying action. And the starting 11, we did a video earlier today with the starting 11. And if you didn't get it, well, the starting 11 will be Andre Blake in goal, Adrian Mariappa and Damian Lowe in the back, along with Alvas Powell and Kemar Lawrence. In midfield, you'll have Speedy, that's Devon Williams, and Anthony Grant making his senior debut. You will have Norman Campbell, Romario Williams making a return to the Reggae Boys squad since 2019, Corey Burke, and Shamar Nicholson. A team I believe are good enough to get a result, a positive result, a point even so over there in Mexico. So I think the Jamaican team will come out with a point. Again, we want to thank all our subscribers as well. We are nearing 1,000, and you can help us by being a part of that. It's very simple. All we ask is if you have already subscribed and you just send this to 10 persons and then you just ask them to subscribe, we will get to 1,000 in no time. We're like 135 subscribers away, and you can join us and be a part of that, right? So just go ahead right now. If you have not yet subscribed, subscribe to the video, and if you have already, get someone else to subscribe along with you. Share the video and let them know. Just slip them a little note. Some persons may not even know how to do it, but maybe you can give them some instructions. Again, whenever we come on, we want to, just celebrate and commend and compliment all the doctors and nurses, warders and porters and persons who work in the administrative departments of our hospitals and health centers all across Jamaica who are out there in the front line battling the pandemic. Some have died, but they have not ceased working. We really respect them and appreciate what they are doing. I'm telling you, you may not see it as any big thing, but it is extremely, extremely great what they're doing. Some are risking their very lives so that they can preserve the life of others, and we want to commend them and thank them for that. All right, so big up to all nurses, all doctors, like I said, porters and administrative staff in hotels and not hotels, but in hospitals, all across Jamaica. Right now, we're putting in a shift. All right. As usual, we're going to play our little intro video, and then we're going to get into our JPL show. If you have a question or a comment, you can do that in the comment section, and we will gladly respond to that. So let me just give you a brief introduction to our channel. Here we go.
I am Sure Sports. You know me there. I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is Righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am Sure Sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am Sure Sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you a go love over here so.
when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are.
Yo, watch about dog, SK New Air this. The body you there. Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, you cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Orchard Race, Galtigo Bay. Everywhere. I Am Sure Sports. Check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like? Ha! Yeah, someone on for the food from we young, from we day, you need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.
Yeah, so there you go. One and all. Thank you again for all the persons who have come on early. I see Ian is here and top 10. Big up yourself. Blessings, top 10. And blessing, Fresh God. Fresh God, the moderator. Big moderator. Listen, I also want to, before I go on, Ian, I'm going to answer your question. And just share a little bit with you on the three players that you're asking about. But I want to take this opportunity to really big up all the vloggers who have, over the last couple of years, they have gotten into this thing, just sharing sporting content on platforms like these, educating people and giving people the opportunity to voice their opinions and ask their questions outside of contemporary media. So I can't call all of them because I don't know all the names, but you have the coach's desk doing a great job. You have Reggae Boys commentary. You have IMAXI TV. You have Dre Any Weather. You have Unseen Sport. You have the Formula Sports. You have Ryan LFC. So many. Like I said, so many others, and I know I may be leaving out some names here and there, but I mean, it takes a lot of courage, bravery, and a lot of hard work. And sometimes persons may see us here and wonder, I mean, oh, I can do it too, but it's not easy. And so I want to big them up on all the people who work behind the scenes to make those things happen. Before we get into what is happening in the JPL, I see Ian asking a question about Jamal Lowe, Amari Bell, and Kevin Stewart. All right. Jamal Lowe, I don't think will be here. So at 4:30 today, we will know the status of Kevin Stewart and Amari Bell. I think there will be an update at around 5 o'clock this evening on those two. But I know Jamal Lowe will definitely not be here for the Panama game, which means it also rules him out for the Costa Rica game. One bit of information I have is that I know that the interest of Louis Baker has gone up some more, and for him, it's really at the point of processing paperwork. And so that is what is happening as it relates to that. I don't want to give any information that I don't know, but I was told that at 5 o'clock I could expect to hear something as it relates to Amari Bell and Kevin Stewart. But it seemed like Jamal Lowe is a definite no. So that's the best I have right now, Ian. But if you have any other information, I would gladly love to hear that. Also, if you see the squad that has been named, 3 players from the JPL are presently in the national team. Yeah, no, Jamal. I'm telling you, I was really looking forward to having him for this game, but word is, and I think I can confirm this, that he's not going to be available. But there's a glimmer of hope for the other two, so let's wait until. Don't want to give a false expectation. I like to under promise and over deliver instead of over promising and under delivering. But it's good to see 3 of the players who play or apply their trade in the JPL making it into the national setup for these round of fixtures. In fact, they are in Mexico. And those three players are Ricardo Morris, Dennis Taylor, and Richard King of Cavaliers. Ricardo Morris is from Portmore United, and Dennis Taylor is from Humble Lion. Incidentally, Humble Lion is at the foot of the table, tied down there with Moline. So it's kind of amazing that the goalkeeper that we're using is not from the team that is the top of the table, but from the team that is the bottom of the table. But truth is, Dennis Taylor has been around the national setup for a while, and it may be based on that. In fact, I think in the teams that are up at the top, there could be, and I believe that there are other midfielders that plays in the same position as Ricardo Morris that maybe they warranted an opportunity. But it is the coaching staff, and maybe they are seeing something that I am not seeing. And like I said yesterday, I think Richard King is one of the better centre backs as a youth in the national setup, and I'm glad that he got a call, and I hope this serves as a motivation for the other players in the league that they need to up their game because there could be opportunities as these things happen. As you know, I mean, there is a possibility, people, of none of our home games being played in Jamaica. That possibility exists that in October, when we're supposed to have two home games, those games could be played in Florida or elsewhere in the United States of America. And so we need to really come together and kind of get this, this virus thing under some level of control. If you can't get rid of something, you have to learn to manage it, and we need to learn to manage this thing. So what I'm going to do firstly, as we wait on Mr. Speed to come and join the stream, is I'm going to show you the last set of fixtures. Now, this show is normally done on a Friday, but we have moved it to Thursdays for the time of the lockdown, and that is because the games have now shifted from Saturday, Sunday, Monday to 3 games on a Friday and 2 games on a Saturday. And so last week, that's how the fixtures were: 3 games on the Friday and 2 games on the Saturday. Had a couple of surprising results, so let me bring up this and show you what the results were. The first game was the Mullines versus Harborview game. Acosta Chang scoring again as Harborview defeated Mullines by one goal to nil. Right, like I said, Acosta Chang scoring in the 74th minute. All right. The second game on the Saturday was the Dumble Holden versus Humble Lion game, and this was a very, very, very exciting game. I think 3 good goals were scored. Andrew Vanzi scored a high quality, high quality free kick, and Mark Miller, former Waterhouse player, scored 2 good goals for Dumble Holden. Very good build-up play, and how they broke down the Humble Lions defense and scored. Then one of the exciting games of the round was the Mount Pleasant versus Cavaliers game. I think Mount Pleasant dominated this fixture for the most part, especially in the first half of the game. I think they kind of took their foot off the gas in the second half. Jordan Fletcher, in his first start of the season, scored in the 16th minute. Kemar Beckford scored in the 31st minute of the first half. And as we went into stoppage time in the last, in the first half, Shaquille Thomas pulled back one for Cavaliers. Mount Pleasant had to make a change at the start of the second half, where Akil Clark, the Guyanese goalkeeper, was replaced by Sean Paul, I think his name is, who came in the 46th minute. Jamai Topi also started this game for Cavaliers. He came in the 66th minute in this game. Never started. In the 86th minute, Mount Pleasant had their third goal scored by Daniel Green. That is, they call him Reggie Boo. He scored in the 86th minute, only for Webster to get back one for Cavaliers late in stoppage time. So Mount Pleasant won that one convincingly 3-2 over over Cavaliers. Yeah, but very, very good game. Very interesting game. Kind of shifted things in terms of the point standings as well, and we'll get to the standings right after this. Now, Tivoli Gardens. I predicted that this game would have ended in like a 1-0 score line or a 1-1 score line, but Tivoli found a winner. They defeated then top of the table Veer by a goal to nil. Early goal by Thomas. He scored in the 7th minute of the game, and were able to withstand sustained pressure from the Veer team to come away with the victory. And then we had Waterhouse scoring 4 goals against Arnett Garners, defeated them 4-1. Uh, uh, Shaquille Bradford scored in the 20th minute. Then Cephas equalized to Arnett Garner. He got a penalty. And then Damian Baines scored in time added on in the first half to give Waterhouse a 2-1 lead. And then there were 2 goals, one a penalty by Andre Fletcher, and he scored 2 goals in the second half in the 51st and 54th minute. Goals were very close together. And yes, and Arnett Garden lost that game, kind of putting them in a very difficult position to make it through to the playoffs of this season's competition. All right, so that's what the score lines were, and we can look at the standings right now, so you can see what is happening. So these are the present standings heading into this week's fixtures. Again, as you can see, the teams are very tightly bunched at the top. Yes, tightly bunched at the top. You see, Veer, after playing 8 games, 4 wins, 2 drawn games, 2 losses. They have 9 goals for, 6 against, 14 points. And they're coming off a loss, so because they lost, like I said, to Tivoli. Mount Pleasant rebounding after losing the previous game. They rebounded in the last game. They have played 8 games, won 4, lost 2, drawn 2, and they're on 14 points. And they break even in terms of goal scoring. 8 for, 8 against. This is not normal for Mount Pleasant. They over the last few seasons, they have been very good defensively in terms of the amount of goals that they concede. So Waterhouse, their win propelled them into 3rd position, and they have played 8 games. They have won 3, drawn 4, and lost 1, and they are on 13 points. Portmore United, they have played 8 games. They have won 4, drawn 1, and they have lost 3. They have scored 11 goals, conceded 7, and they have 13 points. In fact, Waterhouse are on a 2-game win streak. Portmore are on a 2-game losing streak. So they have not won a game for the last 3 games. That's Portmore. They have 2 losses and a draw. All right. Tivoli Gardens, who they have not lost a game in quite a while. In fact, they have lost only 1 game. Their last 5 games, they have drawn. They have 3 draws and 2 wins, and so that moved them up the table. They have played 8 games, like I said, 3 wins, 4 drawn games, and 1 loss. And so they have scored 9 goals, conceded 7, and they are on 13 points. Down Beholden, making some progress. They, like Tivoli, have a good unbeaten streak going. Their last 4 games, they have 3 wins and 1 drawn game. They have 13 points. They have conceded 10 goals and they have scored 9. Then you have Cavaliers, kind of have what you call, this is constant fluctuation, kind of an up and down roller coaster season so far. They have played 8 games with 3 wins, 3 drawn games, 2 losses. They have 12 points. The form coming into this week is the last 5 games: win, draw, draw, win, loss. Harborview rebounding after not gaining a win in 4 previous games. They won their last game to move up to 12 points. They have played 9 games. Um, right? Very tough position for them because they only have 2 games left to play. So they need to win both if they stand any chance of qualifying for the playoffs. 3 wins, 3 drawn games, and 3 losses. They have scored 11 goals and conceded 11 goals. And then you have Arnett Gardens, again fluctuating in terms of team performance. Played 8 games, won 2, drawn 1, lost 5, 7 goals for, 13 against, on 7 points. Mullines, they have played 8 games, only 1 win, 3 drawn games, 4 losses. They have scored only 6 goals, conceded 11. They are on 6 points. And Humble Lion have 2 wins, no draws, 7 losses. They either win or they lose. That's the Humble Lion way. They have scored only 7 goals, conceded 15, and they have 6 points. So that is your point standing after round 9. As you can see, the top of the table is very close, and I mean this weekend is going to determine a whole lot. Let's look at the leading goal scorers. I hope you're seeing this, right? So let's look at the leading goal scorers thus far in the league. All right. So we have Akwasa Chang. He has 6 goals. That's Akwasa Chang of Harborview. He has 6 goals. We have Andre Fletcher of Waterhouse. So he has played 9 games. Andre Fletcher, 8 games. After 8 games, 5 goals. Andrew Vanzi, he has 5 goals. Nicholas Nelson of Mullines has 4. Shaquille Thomas of Cavaliers has 4. Dwayne Atkinson of Cavaliers has 3. Krista J. Daly has 3. Gray of Tivoli has 3. Ricardo Morris of Portmore has 3. And Damian Binns have 3. And Damian Binns is of Waterhouse. Listen, none of the other players need to mention because they're like 2 goals and 1 goals each. So again, the competition is very tightly bunched at the top. As you know, like I said, the amount of teams going through is the first 2 qualify and the other 4 are playing. And you would have heard on one of our previous broadcasts that come the next edition of the JPL, there is going to be a team that replaces Huey. You know that Huey didn't factor in this round, and so what will happen is that the proposal right now that is out there in the public domain is that Mobile United and Wadada will play for that number 12 spot. And you may be wondering, how did they end up in that position? If you remember the last time teams were relegated from the JPL, it was Reno who finished at the bottom of the table and Mobile United finished just above them. And so Mobile United qualifies based on that. If Reno finished 11th, it would have been Reno. But because Reno finished 12th, Mobile United get that spot as the last best team to be eliminated from the Premier League. If you remember now, at the promotion end, the last 2 teams promoted were Vere United and Mullines. The team that was third in that qualifying series was Wadada. So that is where now you have Wadada playing against Mobile United to determine who will be the 12th team in the JPL for the next edition of it. I think that is good for Western football. I think also it opens up for one other venue to be used, which is Catherine Hall, that is now a field hospital, I believe, due to the pandemic. But I hope by that time the field will be made available, and if not so, proper infrastructure will be put in place at Westport Park or at Jarrett Park to facilitate the league, not just playing in Kingston, but there can be some games in Western Jamaica, even though there may not be no spectators, but at least Western people in the Western side will be able to, to bring a team. And support a team. And one of the things I'm advocating for is that I hope for the next edition of the league, these teams will begin to have jerseys. It will be good for me to have a jersey right now wearing, but I don't have one. I don't have one to wear for any of the clubs, right? And when Mr. Speed come on, I'm going to ask him for a Cavaliers jersey. I need to call him up. Listen, the jerseys need to be made available. You understand me? So that clubs can generate income. There should be a one shop where all the club jerseys are available. Some one shop place, either online, some website, where people can go on and purchase jerseys for the different team. Some persons may even opt to put in the names of certain ballers in the back of their jerseys. But that needs to happen at the marketing level for the JPL. Now, like I said, this weekend in the JPL is going to be very, very interesting. And here's why. Because we have a top of the table clash. So we're going to run through some of the fixtures, and I want you to help me, right? I want you to help me, and based on what you have seen so far, what are some of your picks in terms of who is going to beat who and who is going? You understand me? Let me know what your picks are. So we're going to look at the matchups this weekend. Yes, we're going to look at the games that are going to be played tomorrow. The first of which is a what I call a border clash. It's a border clash. You know what border clash mean? These are teams that are bordering. They border each other. This is the Waterhouse versus, let me show you the fixture so you can also see. This is the Waterhouse versus Malines game. Waterhouse versus Malines. That's the first game we are going to discuss. Yeah, what are your thoughts? Who are you? Malines really has little chance of making it through to the playoff. They're on 6 points and they would need to win their last two games. They would need to win their last two games, meaning they would have to beat Waterhouse. Waterhouse, however, can't afford to lose because that would jeopardize their chance of qualifying for the playoffs. So, what say you? Mullins, have Anthony Patrick, who was previously at Waterhouse. He's coaching there. Waterhouse seemed to be playing some good football. They just scored 4 goals. But Mullins is one of the teams that they don't lose a lot of games, they just don't win. They draw a lot of games. They always have a way of eking out that one goal to put themselves back into a winning position or a position to gain a point. Now, let me know, what do you think? What are your predictions for this Waterhouse versus Mullins game? Yeah. Yep. What are your thoughts? Anybody want to take a stab at this? And let me know, who would you pick to win this game? I know what my predictions are. I think when I see a clash like this, where you have Mullins Road, Jews, and all of these connected communities, I see. If you remember, there have been times when Mullins even uses Waterhouse home venue for their games. So I'm going to call a draw. I see this game ending in a draw, which puts pressure on Waterhouse going into their last game and eliminates Mullins from playoff contention. I agree, Dre. Any weather, 1-1, 1-1. That's what I think is going to happen, because Waterhouse don't want to lose. Mullines don't want to lose. I think it's going to be an exciting game because I think the last 20, 30 minutes you could see one team going on the attack. But I do believe this is going to be a drawn game. Waterhouse won, Mullines won. Anyone else want to take a stab at it? But that's how I see it. 1-1 draw. Now, the second game, so that game we looked at was the first game of the Friday fixtures, which is a 10 o'clock game. It's at 10 in the morning. All right. The second game, which is the game that will be played at 12:30, is Cavaliers versus Portmore. Now, this is a very interesting game because now, again, none of these teams can afford to lose because if they lose, it jeopardizes their opportunity to qualify for the playoff. So this round of fixtures are the most interesting fixtures. Not only that, here are some things they need to know. Cavaliers just lost one of their key players in Richard King, who was gone to play with the national team in Mexico. Portmore is also losing their influential captain, Ricardo Morris. Their coach has migrated to England, who is coach Ricardo Bibi Gardner, and coach Lawrence is the new coach there. All right, so Portmore losing their coach, have a new coach, and they're also losing Ricardo Morris, their captain, their team leader, the man who calls the shot, who brings things together in the midfield, will not be there. And Cavaliers is missing a key centre back. And both teams must win to stand a chance of qualifying for the playoffs. No, these two teams don't really draw games. They kind of win or lose. They rarely draw games. And Portmore on a bad run of games. They have been losing since Coach Gardner has gone. They haven't won a game. I'm wondering if the coach now has enough opportunity to work with the players, or will they also? Sigel Knight got injured, who is very critical to their midfield. All right. Cavaliers conceded 3 goals in the last game, but they scored 2. So some interesting facts out there. So who do I pick? Oh my Lord. Boy, this is a game. Who do I pick? Who do I pick? Who do I pick? Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Hey, this is a tough one. This is a tough one, people. This is a tough one. But here's what I'm going to do. I think Cavalier win this game 2-1 because I think Portmore will miss Ricardo Gardner and they'll also miss Ricardo Morris a whole lot. So I am going Portmore 1, Cavaliers 2. And now that I'm talking about Cavaliers, look who has decided to show up. The moment I mention Cavaliers, he must be happy. He must be happy with my prediction. But I see, Dre, anyways, trust me, this game cannot, like, none of these teams can afford to draw this game. So I don't see it drawing, but I hear your prediction. Mr. Speed, we're at the Cavaliers versus Portmore. So I was just laying out some of the facts that, one, Ricardo Gardner has migrated and Coach Lawrence is now in charge. They also lose Ricardo Morris, their instrumental and influential captain. But you are missing Richard King. And my prediction is that I think you will have a little more than them and win this one by the odd goal in 3, 2-1, because they could be also missing Sigel Knight. What say you?
Yeah, I like that prediction. But serious though, as I had said before, Cavalier got a really a stumbling against Mount Pleasant. Even though draw would have done them well. So at this particular time, if Cavalier loses any game out of the two, they would need help from other persons, which is very unlikely based on the form book. So Portmore, though, I mean, they are a quality team. They never stay down for long. So I expect them now to come back firing on all cylinders. So it's going to be an interesting game. Some of the time when you lose some of your top players, the team actually play better. So let's see. I hope Seagal Knight recover, though. I really like him as a player. But I think this is going to be one of the most hard-fought game. A win here for everybody could almost take them off.
And
To
you
the
think
second.
you think you have enough in your squad to cover for the absence of Richard King, who has started almost every game for you this season?
Well, we do have covered. Problem is that we have a couple injuries too, which is affecting us. I mean, Kamal Simpson's a touch and go, so there we have some injuries. So that is really the problem that we're having. Even people who are playing, they kind of a little bit sore. I was wondering why, but we should return to the starting lineup. Busy should return to the starting lineup. I would think.
For those of you who don't know, Busy is doing at Kingston, all right?
Right, so I would think that they're gonna be a handful as usual. Right, so that's what we're counting.
All right, wonderful. And then we kind of covered the Waterhouse versus Mullines game, call it Border Clash. And Dre Anyweather had predicted a 1-1 draw. And so I think that's how that game is going to end, which don't help either team. That all but eliminate Mullines if they even had an iota of or inkling of a chance to finish sixth, then that a draw would really eliminate them and put Waterhouse under extreme pressure going into their last game.
I'd go with the farm book though. I'd go with Waterhouse.
Yeah.
Because of some personal knowledge, I don't know. I don't think Mullines believe that they have a chance of qualifying. I
Yeah.
think Mullines is just gonna try to rebuild for next year. So that's why I go.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. I was saying that because they could also come and just like use a lot of youngsters. Because I know a couple weeks ago, one of the coach hinted at some discipline issues, and if you're not getting relegated, why not just you can't go through? Why not just use a new set of players? I think
They're not going to give up, though, Mannings, man. They're not going to give up because I'm sure they don't want to come dead last in the tournament. Nobody wants to come dead last in a competition because if you look at the serious side of it, when you go to recruit next year, nobody wants to play for that team. So I don't think they're going to give up, but I still think Waterhouse have more to play for.
Then, yeah. All right, then you have the top of the table clash. This is going to be a game. This is the final game, I believe, the 3:30 game tomorrow. Very interesting thing. Mount Pleasant going up against Veer. You have Donovan Duki, Kadeem Davis, Ricardo Dennis, and one other player, Ricardo Campbell, coming back to play against a Mount Pleasant team. All four of them were at Mount Pleasant last season. No, they're
five.
we're at Mount Pleasant last season. Mount Pleasant tied on points with Cavalier with Veer. Just goal difference separating them. They lost a game against Tivoli, that's Veer, last week. Coming into this game, like I said, Mount Pleasant defeated Cavaliers. Played a very, very good first half, I believe. But kind of looked very sloppy in the second half. This is if anybody knows how to match up against Mount Pleasant, it's probably Donovan Duki. Knows the players very well, but then the Mount Pleasant players may be saying that we know you very well. So
Exactly, my point. I must tell you that I think that the game that Mount Pleasant played against Cavalier, they really set up that game just like how I think they're gonna play it here. Very patient, a lot of rotation. People keep shooting from outside the box because I think they probably have to try that because Duke don't usually give much spaces in the box for you to knock out his defenders to score it, top ins, etc. So I think Mount Pleasant would have been prepared. The difference between both teams, I think Veer is better defensively. Mount Pleasant is better offensively. That's a difference between both teams. I would say probably the midfield even out. But when it comes to offense and defense, then the goalkeeper, I would say that Veer has the better goalkeeper based on what I've seen. But as there's a old saying that defense win championship, but offense win matches. Yeah, this one. One thing I can say, I'm going to say that I think it's gonna draw though. I don't think you can breach Veer twice. So if more person even do it once, and then I think Veer is probably still come up with a goal. I think it's gonna be a draw. They'll beat out, they'll nullify out each other. That actually does something to the tables. If they did that, they would just take Harborview out of the equation. Both of those teams would go to 15 points. So Harborview would be able to catch any of those. And that's my prediction. It's gonna be a drawn game. Don't know who will tell it more, but because Veer finishes against Cavalier, Mount Pleasant finishes against Underwolling. So it's gonna be, I don't know who's gonna help more, but it's gonna be difficult.
I see this game as a 1-0 game. I think last week I picked for Mount Pleasant to draw, and I think they defeated Cavaliers. I think finally this coach Wally Downs have these guys playing how he wants them, and I realize he has made some changes to his rotation, and so I'm going to go. You know that I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I want to go 1 to Mount Pleasant. I'm going to tell you why. I think there are some players in Mount Pleasant who feels like they never got enough opportunities when Coach Dookie was there. Rightly or wrongly so, I think they believe that. And they're going to go into this game wanting to prove something to him.
Well, football is not about proving. They better play properly because that proving can cost them. So I would tell them.
I agree.
Not to think like that. They should go professionally and try and play. Mount Pleasant does a good game. So does Dookie. But if you look on that particular turf, I think we score a little bit more. Goals are coming freely now. So I don't see any 0-0 games at this particular point, and that is why I was saying it would be a 1-1. But but it could go either way. If one of them keep a clean sheet and score, I think both teams likely to score. So I would say to the players, try and forget that little. You can have a little chip on your shoulder, but try and forget that the coach never like you. And you want to prove something against him and just play the game as all your coach tell you to play. That's what I would do.
Yeah, man. Big up Marlon Nelson. Dre Anyweather. So far, we spoke about 3 games, and every game you predict a draw. you predict draw between Mullins and Waterhouse, draw between Cavaliers and Portmore, draw between Mount Pleasant and Veer. You're an artist.
Well, make him go again. For the Arnett and Dundolin game before.
No, man. No, I understand what is happening. Let me tell you this. Harborview is going to be out this week. It is their rest week because they have 1 game extra than everybody else. So, of course, it is in the benefit of Harborview for all the games to draw. It gives them an opportunity.
No, it's not true because if Mount Pleasant and Veer draw, they got to 15 points. Harborview, even with a win over Arnett, will only come to 15 points. And so it would be a matter. Those teams would essentially, based on Harborview having a 0 goal difference, I mean, they would have to give Arnett guys like 4-0 to go over a Veer United. So unless Veer is beaten badly in the last game. So yeah, I see where I'm probably trying to go. But I don't know if a draw helps because all the teams after this draw the last game.
Yeah.
So it's better for the teams that are above you, 3 of them to lose. And then they would have a better chance. That's why.
Have a better chance. Yeah. All the tables have turned on Harborview, man. I'm telling you. All right. And so, like I said, so you have Dre Anyweather have a draw in that game.
Average game a draw fee.
Right, and you have a join that game as well. And I
Yes, I
am
have a job for that.
I am going Mount Pleasant 1.
Right.
All right. The next game now is, I don't know, Arnett Gardens versus Dumby Holden. Like, this is one of these games. It's so hard to predict because Arnett Garden is so like inconsistent. But Dumby Holden, man, the first two goals that they scored against Humble Lion, very very good build up play. I mean, very good play, very very good game. I liked how they looked. I liked how they played, and they I mean did well. I know Vance scored a very good free kick. If they play anyway like that, I don't see Arnett Gardens' young defense being able to stop them from scoring. So I'm going to give Dumby Holden this one by 2 goals to nil. Arnett Gardens will create chances, but they create them only to miss them. And that has been their Achilles heel in this tournament. They keep missing what I call half a chances, 3/4 chances, and whole chances. And you can't do that and win football games. So I'm going Dumby Holden to win by 2 goals to nil, just because I think that the new coach have them playing better than they were previously. He's having his way. They're playing with some shape. I like how they're deploying this guy called Mark Miller. Um, Nikai Christian has also looked well. And they have this forward, Bailey, that's his name.
I thought, no,
Um,
I thought, all right.
Scored a brilliant goal from all the way out the box.
Yeah, no, he's not dealing name. I thought, all right. So he has a long name. I can't remember.
And it's not oh geez, what's his name again? But I'll soon tell you his name. But very good. He has been playing well.
He's leading the line now.
Yeah, right. He's leading the line for them. He's leading the line for them.
Bygrave, Bygrave.
Bygrave, yeah. Come on, yeah, right. Bygrave. I think it's
Yeah,
some another Bygrave, right? That's his
Bygrave.
name. There you go. There you go.
Well,
Right.
I'm going to the farm book too. Basically,
Yeah. Thank you, Fresh God. Bygrave.
Bygrave. I'm
Bygrave
going
is
to
a double. Fresh God is a double Holden supporter and humble and bring. But Fresh
Yeah.
God, here's the thing now. You can't bring the two teams. You have to make up your mind. So are you throwing humble under the bus and following Dumby Holden, sir? Because you can't change up every week. You have to pick your pick and stick with it.
uh,
All right.
Fresh God. Pick any amount of team you want to pick. Yeah, that's fine. Anything you can support more than one team. Except when they clash, then your
Yeah.
preferences are going somewhere. So
But you were saying
So-
this. Us. Go ahead.
don't be holding. And new coach Harold Thomas has been a revelation. They lost the first 2 games, and then he has been able to win 4 games. I mean, he has lost some games. The paradox about Don Bowling though is that they have either won or lost.
Yeah, they have not drawn a game.
Right? So they have won 4 and they lost 3, which kind of tell us say it is possible for them having 2 games to lose one and win one. And I still think that will take them into the playoff zone because of how they play. It will just be a little bit nervy for them if they lost to Arnett Garden. No, Arnett Garden's squad hasn't changed. Even when they won Portmore, I said to you, listen, don't watch that. The squad hasn't changed. They came back promptly. After that. And what happened? They got beaten up 4-1 by Waterhouse. Now, I heard that there was an excuse that the team had trained too hard and run him to the ground in the second half because they were doing well up to the end of the first half. I heard that it was the excuse for Arnett Garden. So, of course,
How were they supposed to train? How were they supposed to train too hard when there were 2 days of no training?
Who said they wasn't training? You have some teams that are locked down, so they are locked down where their facilities are.
Okay.
I mean, I suspect that is what caught us too. Other team would have been able to be locked down with their facilities and they would be able to train. The government didn't say they couldn't train if they are locked, if there's no movement. So
Okay.
So that was what I heard. So I don't know if it's true, but I'm saying so. Arnett Garden though can pull out something out of the bag. I mean, they have talented players, although them a bit young. But the truth is, Dunbourne is just too focused. The manager is focused. They have this urge that they have to go into the playoff. They have this urge that they are the ones who shop the most. They are the ones who probably have the best squad, man for man. If you look at who they have now, they got this player that used to play for Jamaica, the central midfielder used to play for Montego United. They don't have that player in their ranks.
Fabian McCarthy.
Yes, and 100 that is goal scorer last week.
Mark Miller.
All quality player, yeah, Mark Miller. So their focus is that they have to win the trophy this year, and that is Arnett Garden focus is not that. Arnett Garden focus is probably just trying to survive this season and build on what they have for next season. So I'm going to the farm book. This is one. I mean, as I said, Dunbourne could either win or lose, but I'm going with Dunbourne.
You're going with Dunbourne then. All right. Dre anyway that say he's going with Arnett Garden. Like Dre anyway that select based on who is his friend, you know. So Coach Alex is his friend. So he's predicting that the Junglists is are good. Listen, the Junglists, I don't think the Junglists have had a clean sheet all season. I'm almost certain that they don't have any clean sheet. I could check and tell you, but I don't think so. And so I don't see them. No, sir. I think they are going to lose. I think Arnett loses this one. Like I said, 2-0 to Dunbeholden. That is going to push Dunbeholden up the table. And then the final game, I think this is going to be an easy one for us to call. The final game of the round is the Tivoli versus Humble Lion game. Fresh God, what would you do if you were the coach, seeing that you can't qualify really because you're at the bottom of the table on 6 points, and even if you win your 2 games, do you continue using your same what I call now older players, or do you freshen up your squad by bringing in some young youth that you want, players that you may want to use for the next edition or for the next season? What do you do if you're Humble Lion, if you're Andre Price? What do you do? Oh, what you mean? 1-0 Humble Lion or Humble Lion getting one? Humble Lion getting the Bob Marley. I know you're not going to pick against Humble Lion, you know, but I would find it hard to see Humble Lion defeating Tivoli. Because Tivoli stand a chance of qualifying. You understand me? I see that very see that. Yeah, Mr. Yeah, man, talk to me. What do you think about the Humble Lion? Yeah.
Well,
Tivoli
I don't
game.
see that going any other way but a Tivoli victory.
Well, somebody
not
has
possible.
Somebody has it a different way.
Really, I don't see it any other way. I think Tivoli going to win that game. There's 2 teams going into opposite directions. Well, I'm sorry. Humble Lion is always, from the start of the season, they were at the bottom. They are still at the bottom. I don't see, to be honest, the farm table being turned here. Although in the last 5 games, Humble Lion has won 2 and lost 3. And they are not a tricky team, but I just believe that Tivoli, is so focused on what they're doing. Their coach is so astute to leave no stones unturned. And it is possible that Humble Lion might put up some resistance, but as far as I see, they are just going to only be putting up resistance. I believe that Tivoli will win this game. Tivoli have shown that they know how. And I don't see anything else.
You see these comments? Because I was suggesting that maybe Humble Lion would use younger players to freshen up their squad, but this is the last game of the season.
Yeah, there's no young players. They have all the players that they have at their disposal now playing. The older players will come out and try to play a good last game, but I mean,
and the man that made a difference is now gone. Who is
the goalkeeper, but what you're playing for, you're not playing for anything really. So I don't see Anything else? We upset of the round. Jay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. I know why him say that. I know why him say that to him.
Oh, because you want half of you to go through.
Exactly. So now he doesn't want to rematch the joy anymore. He wants Humberland to win on it. God doing this.
All right, so
Don't have
Fresh
a
God,
chance for that.
you have
So
to help out Dre anyway. Then Dre anyway that really want your team to win.
I must tell Jay though that will help me a lot too, if what he was saying. But I don't have any illusion that is what he's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think, like based on what I've seen from Tivoli, I think it would be. I don't see Humble Lion getting a point from them at this stage um, of the season. They are not. I mean, they are playing good football. The team is fairly balanced with young and old players. So there is some experience, and there is some youth. And like I said, that they're a very disciplined team. They know what they're doing. Um, yeah, that's true. The goalkeeper Harrison is a good replacement for Dennis Taylor. But I tell you what, though, he doesn't have. Dennis Taylor communicates so much at the back. He controls the play. He puts the ball down. He kicks it out. All of those things. I think as good as Harrison is in terms of shot stopping, the kind of leadership and communication you get from Dennis Taylor, I don't find it with Harrison. But
Right. And the other thing too is that I think Cumberland lose a little when Vanze plays centre half instead of being more influential in the midfield era. So again, let's see what happened there. If he
I,
comes in the midfield, they will put up a better, bigger fight. If he plays centre half, I think.
But I don't think they can play a midfield with him and Javon Watson in there because that's two, what I'd call two young, two older players. And I think that is probably where the midfield is not balanced when they play those two guys with Gregory Lewis. That's a very old midfield to match up against these youngsters from Tivoli Gardens, who do a lot of running. And maybe that is why the coach
No,
drops
but
him.
Vanze is not an old player. Why Vanze not old? For football, Vanze not old. He's just in his prime.
What is that, 30?
No, he no catch 38.
Okay. But like I said, very, very interesting weekend lies ahead of us in terms of how this all is going to work out. Nobody can afford to drop points, or else they are going to be in extreme pressure. One more coach, like I said, has changed. Coach Ricardo Gardner is now gone. Let me hear what Fresh got. Think I need to be overall in the squad. Definitely, I think, and this is the thing. I don't find that Humble Lion is a team that a lot of players run to. I don't know. I just always think that it's a team known for recruiting more older players than youth. And I think they're going to have stiff competition from Veer because Veer is doing so well with Duki. Whatever youths are in Clarendon, they may want to lean towards Veer more so than Humble Lion, and that could affect the recruiting at Humble Lion um, for the next season. Yeah, yeah, man, agree with you.
Well, I mean, what you're saying, is actually really true. But you have to realize that I think they might have held on some of those players just a little bit too long because of what they did the year when Duki coached them to the to the when they won. Remember about 3 years ago or 4 years
They,
ago?
they finished they finished top of the league. They won the league part, but yeah.
Right. So I mean, they have probably not have they probably have the same core of players since that time. But as you know, father time, get to
Yeah.
work, and I suppose they need to refresh the squad somewhat. So I am hoping that they do that in the off window. There's a lot of young players. Will they take the risk though and bring in those young players, knowing that it would mean that they might not be competitive in the league next year, but it should be a building process. So let us see what happens.
No, with that being said, does the no relegation extend
Yes,
beyond the season?
Yes, no relegation next year, so people still have an opportunity to build.
So that would be actually be 3 years in a row.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Well, 2 year and the third year there's supposed to be relegation. But based on what is happening now, still no local football getting league. It might I don't know if it's gonna be extended. But it's supposed to be 2 years. This season, next season, and the following season, relegation should kick in.
Yeah, man, but there was no relegation last season in the abrupted season either.
Right, that was because it was
Oh, okay.
aborted. Yeah.
Okay, aborted season. Okay, I see. All right. One of the other things is how does the format? So the top two they go and sit, or they play each other, and the winner goes to the final. The one that loses play the winner. How does the playoff work now?
Well, what happened now is the top six. Top six, first and second, doesn't play. Third place six, fourth place fifth in a home and away basis, and the winner will play first and second in the semi-finals, and then the final is a one-half game, and there's a game for third and fourth. That is what is going to happen.
All right. So people, when they hear home and away, it's the same venue.
Yes.
It means it's over 2 legs. All right. So I don't want you to misunderstand that to say that okay, the semi-final is going to be played at venues. No, it will be played at the same venue, but there'll be 2 legs of it. Are there away goals rule? Like if it's my home game, is that a
no? It's just an aggregate. There's no away.
Okay, so third place six, fourth place fifth. The two winners. So you get two winners there.
So the winner of third and sixth play the team that finished first, and the winner of fourth and fifth play the team that finished second.
Okay.
No, the other way around. The winner play the team that fourth and fifth, and the second place play the winner of third and sixth.
Okay. All right. And then all right.
Now, just to tell you though that for the following week, there's going to be a change. It's gonna go back to 2 days. 2 days. It's gonna be 2 days, and it's gonna be trying to find what happened.
In terms of the fixtures.
For the final round,
Yes.
for the final round. Trying to find it.
Oh, because you don't want any team to kind of be able to give any team any advantage.
Well, it might happen. So it's Portmore against Waterhouse. That's the first game at 10. So you'll find out who qualify early. Dunbowling against Mount Pleasant will be the second game at 1 o'clock on Friday. And then above you play Arnett Gardens at 3:30. So that will happen on Friday next week. So clearly, Friday next week, everyone will know what is going to happen. And then Saturday is Tivoli Garden versus Mullines, and then Veer United versus Cavalier. That will be the final game.
Okay.
The rest team will be Umberlands. And fittingly so, we know Umberlands will have a chance, so there's no issue there. But people will have known the results of certain games before their games. It's just a factor. All the games not going to be playing simultaneously. They'll be playing on a schedule, because to play all these games simultaneously, you will have to have 5 venues, and that wouldn't worth it. So I think the ICD committee of the professional body met, and they are in agreement with the JPL to just play the league as is, comes what may. So it's Portmore Waterhouse at 10, Dunbowl and Mount Pleasant at 1, Harborview Arnett Garden at 3:30, Tivoli Garden versus Mullines at 12, on Saturday, Veer versus Cavalier at 3:30.
All right, good. All right, Fresh God is asking this. He says, I asked this question already about the field for the clubs, right? I want to know, in the future, next season or the other, will the clubs get funds to update the fields so that football can return home? I guess he's asking that based on the fact that many of the fields may not be used now and the conditions are deteriorating. So you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, as a simple man. Listen, in modern first world country, the person who fix the fields are usually the state. They call it is usually a lot of countries, not all, but a lot of countries, the state help, like in the USA and Europe, not England. So there's no money. I don't know if the government going to be giving out money to fix those fields. And then professional football, Jamaica Limited, wasn't formed for that purpose for infrastructure, even although we try to lift standards. So I would say no upfront, just to say, to be honest, I would say no, that won't happen. And it's more likely that all those fields will not pass 12 fields to play professional football. I don't think government will pass it, because if we're going to start anytime this year, I don't know if we'll be outside of the pandemic yet either. So I think it's more of the same next year. That's my honest opinion. More of the same, not the individual fields.
Okay, so let me just take the other part of his question, and then I have something to ask. And just use the field play promotion games at the current field.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if the government will approve that either. So the truth is, it looked like centralized venue. Is it for a while, at least until we promote the pandemic? That work, so it's easy for you to ask the government to approve that. To ask the government to approve 25 fields, I think that's a no, unless it's just for training purposes.
All right. All right. So my question though is, I don't know if we want to overuse or it can be overused, the present surface that is being used, right? What I'd love to see, and I know the probably the cost associated with moving from venue to venue, like playing match here this week and match here this next week and there, may be one of the factors. But I would have preferred to see some games played in the national stadium, prefer to see some games played at Stadium East, prefer to see games played at um Catherine Hall, that is turning into a field hospital right now to deal with the COVID. Just at least that. So could we expand the amount of venues? Are there plans now in place to expand the amount of venues? Because I don't think it is wise for especially older players to play week in and week out on this present surface. So what are those plans like for the next season? At least not for this season. Or is it that like the semifinals and finals are going to be played at a grass venue, maybe like the stadium or stuff, or are we just sticking to this venue going ahead? Most of the games will be played here, or like you know like the stadium could be passed or state, because I know at least one set of games were played at Stadium East, but it has not been used again. And like I say, you have a Catherine Hall. You
Yeah,
have yeah.
but for you to carry four teams to catch in all when there's no team from the west, I mean, and it's a television event because the government is not allowing spectators to attend. That's no. I mean, it's economics ABC. So what we have to do is plus, so there's a cost factor and a no revenue factor, which is a disaster for business. So all of those questions is something that we're going to be looking at. I don't know the answer singularly, but if there is additional team from say Mobi, then it is likely that say if there's a team from Mobi and you're having a double that includes Mount Pleasant and the Mobi team, then clearly you could see a game going down to catch you all. But if it is a concentration as it is now, where all the teams are from Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, and St. James, St. Anne, then it's gonna be difficult, for that to happen. So right now we are just happy that we're playing, and cost is a real factor, which we have to be watching and looking at all the time. But it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of discussion around what all you just said. One thing I'm almost sure that clubs will not be able to go back to their venue because we're building a television product, and the truth is some of those venues just hopelessly you would never ever dare to try to transmit a game from some of those venues to overseas market. People just stop watching the league right away. So that's not something that we can do to carry back to anywhere. So
Okay.
money is a big factor, and we'll get back to you on that.
Okay, all right. So one of the other things I said earlier that I mean I've been doing this show like since the start of the league, and by now I should be able to punch in online and say, listen, hey, just buy a Cavaliers jersey. I just buy a Mount Pleasant jersey. I just have a Harborview jersey. Where can someone, I mean, not just the person locally, but persons like a Dre Anyweather who is over there in the States, where can he go online to buy? He's a Harborview fan, a Harborview jersey. Where can
No,
Fresh God get
well, that not going to happen for the rest of the season. It's something that we're going to look at for next season. Truth is, you probably don't even realize we're not playing in the gears that we're supposed to playing in for a reason which I
Yeah,
don't want
that
to
is true.
discuss. So, what we're playing is not even a replica yet. I mean, they look good and all of that, but there are some other things that we had to do. But remember, our biggest thing was we couldn't get the league approved to play. That was our focus. Once we get the league approved, we just had to start as quick as we could before it was rescinded, and then a lot of other things didn't get to take shape. So we are hoping that by the next season we'll finish in September. By next season, we start to have the meetings already. So by next season, we'll be able to put those things in place, and then because we're building out with staff, etc. So by the end of next season, we should be able start the next season. We should be able to put those in place, because it's a really good suggestion that, as you have said, but
Yeah,
not yet.
because I am thinking that maybe just one arm, one of the marketing arm, instead of, even though individual clubs may have a merchandising department, that at the professional club, that the head of the whole league have one store that caters for all the club jerseys. Like, I think from that perspective, so it's one website instead of
Oh,
all
you're
of them.
right. I mean,
Yeah,
for us to do it individually is not economical. I mean,
yeah.
so that's the way to go.
Yeah, and so okay, so going into next season, you will be able to design your jerseys, or you go back to the same. All right, the sponsor need to be on this, so all of you kind of wear similar jerseys to have some form of uniformity, or is it that we go back to our original Cavalier design? Harborview goes back to theirs. I know Mount Pleasant they were playing in Adidas gears and stuff. Are you going to go back to that for the next season, or like I said, is the same kind of jerseys now that you see us using? We're going to have to keep that until probably after the pandemic or something like that.
Well, as I said before, we don't know. We don't know. Yes, you'll see improved jerseys. It's just that there's issues. We have them. We just haven't been able to use them because there's issues with. So,
Sponsors, yeah, man,
but
and
but don't worry about it. I mean, it's not anything we can discuss now, or definitively can say yes or no. But definitely, we are going to go there where we'll be able to sell jerseys. That's where we're going. So we just hope we get it in place and we'll get the right. And those features that they talk about, that would be nice to have. So we'll work towards that.
all right. So I'll get these questions from the comment. They said that, listen, I don't want to come on, but ask Mr. Speedy. So someone who says that, listen, I'm from Kingston, right? I don't want something. I don't want an Arnett Guard jersey to buy. I want a team named Kingston. So when I wear it, when I wear my Kingston FC or my Kingston, like Manchester, people can say you're a Kingstonian, not a jungle. It's not a Gardner man. Not a. You
Yeah.
understand me?
The truth
Not a.
is that person is very smart, and I must tell you that personally we looked at renaming our team Kingston
That's what I was
United.
going to, because I said that you need to tell Mr. Speedy come on this program every day, limiting in
No,
marketing. You need to expand in marketing and
no,
change the
no,
slogan.
we do it. We have. I mean, we even got permission to change the name and everything. But the pressure to change the name from the club traditional name with so many persons, it was a big ask, and we got cold feet and didn't bother. When we send out our feelers to people, I was just ask them, what they think. And because there was a lot of tradition, people love the name because they used to play for the club, follow the club. So we kind of backed up, but it's something that is on top of our minds, and it could happen anytime. So let's see. But brilliant idea actually, and the person is 100% correct. They came
That's
to Kingston, to buy a Kingston jersey.
yeah,
And
but
Kingston is a world-renowned city. That is why they are saying that.
yeah, all right. So what does Cavalier mean?
No, Cavalier got the name because of where it was formed. It was formed in a location in Kingston called Cavalier. That's how we got the name.
All right. Okay. Okay. Because I thought it had to do with this whole King Charles thing and who helped him and stuff. But all right. So,
No,
all right. So, see that is it. So, couldn't you still be called
Kingston Cavaliers.
no, Kingston thing, right? But you have as part of your thing, we are the Cavalier in the city. Like
Yeah, it
you
take a lot of thought. It's something that we think about. So we didn't drop it. We actually did get the permission, but we never did it.
okay. I think you have to challenge yourself to do that. I think one of the clubs that did that was Mobile United.
Right, and Portmore too.
Right, and Portmore changed from Hazard. Like Hazard is like an accident, man. Why you want to name yourself Hazard, man? You understand me? But Portmore, but the thing with Portmore is kind of funny because people still see Portmore as a Clarendon team, you know. That is the problem with
No, just old people like you, not the young.
All right. You ask Fresh God, he will tell you that Portmore is a Clarendon team. I am telling you, that is what he's going to tell you. But here's what he's asking. Um, is the stats for the players coming in the
Yeah,
next season?
yeah, we hope so. We hope so. A year we have the technology. We even have technology for VAR, but they do take training and some cost to implement. So let's see. We're
I
looking
think
at improvements.
let me tell you why. You see this stats thing, I tell you it's so important because what people were asking me is give me the stats on Richard King. Right? So they say,
And
well, so
it starts. You wouldn't have it. We have it because we do our
exactly,
personal thing.
exactly. So them
So
say,
he plays for Clarendon College at school, but he plays for us. Play every single minute of Cavalier, all 8 games he has played in. His pass percent completion ratio is roughly about 80%. I mean, decent player. I mean, so, but I don't know what other stats. He hasn't scored any goal. He has
but
made some.
that is the thing. People want to see an energy, heat map and all of them things. Because the other thing, as I'm saying that I can't exactly what you said is what I said. But they said, no man, you don't have nothing more.
But,
but but look at this. I have a couple of comments I want to you know that I didn't even know this that Humble Lion was originally called Maypen Lions. Did you know that?
Umberland. I
Yeah.
didn't. I don't know if that's true. Because I remember when Umberland used to play in Super League and Major League. I don't remember them calling them Mapleland. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. Never heard.
Okay. But this is a Clarendonian, you know, so it must be because here
Oh,
you
oh,
saw
yeah. Well, maybe I'm right.
so it's originated in Clarendon, now in Portmore. You see, he said it is not Portmore. He said it is now in Portmore. So he's still inferring that the team is a Clarendon team. And I think that is why Portmore hasn't had the success that they ought to in Portmore because Portmore people, for the most part, don't think that they're a Portmore team. I think if Nagohead change their name to Portmore, it would be more acceptable than Hazard changing to Portmore and moving from Clarendon.
Well, I don't know what you call success. Remember, I've been when they used to play in Portman. I've been to games. A lot of people used to follow them. I've seen them.
At Freddie Nita?
Yes, there was a lot of people there when they play in the nights. I've gone there and a lot of crowds, a lot of people were there. I've seen them. They have won the title more than any other team in Jamaica, and some of them they won in Portmore. I think the change did well for them. I don't know. I don't know if one I think that plagued them is that um, they had to leave Ferdinita for a while and go back to Spanish Town. I don't know if
Prison
that helped.
Oval, yes. Yeah.
That didn't help, but they were getting a lot of following.
All right. All right. So what do you think about this comment? I think that is a good approach, Mr. Speed, realizing that the improvement on the field is inextricably linked to the improvement on the business and administrative side of the league.
No,
Which
it's
is
correct. And nobody don't want stale bread. You have to have a good product that looks good. The feel has to look good. If you start to have people filming games and them seeing a toilet at the side, or a backyard, I mean, nobody want to watch it. Just turn off MTV and say, "Oh, finish with this." No sponsor would want to have to sponsor that either because that's not a good image for the product. But when you look at the Dallas Mountain at the Captain Boyle Center, and the camera go up on the Dallas Mountain, and you see the field lush, and the place is just a nice spectacle, nice little building at the side, proper bench arrangement. Then people say, okay, man, watch this for a while. It's just for us now to improve ourselves, our performance on the field. And then I think all around, people start to want to invest in these clubs, invest in the product, in the clubs itself too. And of course, once people start to do that, you find that you get a higher level participants, including management. You start to find people from the business sector who want to come and say, okay, let me become a manager, let me help with medical, let me help with administration, and all of that augurs well for the league to grow. So that is where we are. So we can't turn back again. If it means that, we want to go back home, yes, but it's gonna take a big investment from, say, like the government in those fields for us to go back.
To go back to your
Otherwise, I don't see it happening.
Yeah. So people, let me clarify. Fresh God did not say that they were called Maypen Lions. What he's saying is true. Instead of calling themselves Humble Lion, change the name. But Kingston Cavaliers is not a bad name either,
Thought about that too.
But people are going to call you KC, and I'm not sure you want to be referred to the JC people. We have a problem with that, and that play for your team, and the Wolmer's people may not want to play for your team and all of those other schools if you use KC for the short name. But I think that's a good way. In fact, is it on your jersey at Cavaliers, the sponsors are Kingston something another. That's the thing that is on your jersey. Kingston,
right.
Is it Kingston 862 or something like that, I think?
Right. I must tell you that, yes, that is true. I think the company was formed in 1962. Whoa. Cavalier was formed in 1962 also.
Really?
Yes. Cavalier was formed on Independence Day, in 1962. So we thought that it was fitting that they were a sponsor.
Whoa.
So yeah, that's the type of issue both of us have, our sponsor. And we're very happy to be associated with them.
So yeah, Kingston, yeah, man, Kingston 62 and Cavaliers jersey indeed. Fresh God. And I think that's I think that is one of the things that I like with the league and stuff. I'm hoping that more persons will come on board in terms of sponsorship. So, because honestly, I think we need to get to the place where the champions of this league, when you win the league, your total accumulation of winning monies for the season is around a minimum of 100 million. That's what I believe. I think that's how profitable it needs to be.
100 million or?
Jamaican dollars. So no, what I mean by that is that, say the prize money is 50 million as an example, then you get win bonuses. So you get throughout the season, you get money for winning games. You understand me? So all of that would add up. It would push teams to keep on winning, because winning provides an additional incentive, and that is separate from what the total prize money is. So if you have a prize money for like 52 or 62 million dollars, I mean, in other words, a man wants to come into something, and if he's going to invest 20 million, he sees where he's going to. If he invests 20 million to run the club for a season and they win, he should be able to see where his total winnings is going to amount to 60 million. So he can, you understand me, he can take back out what he invested, he can reinvest a portion, he can reinvest the next 20 and still make a little money, kind of a thing. And I think more persons will I always say these things and people think it is not possible. I think there's enough people out there that can make the football, and some of the steps that are being taken now is doing that. How it looks on TV, the market that it is reaching. And Fresh got something that is a whole heap of money. You think 50 million is enough? All right, maybe we can stop at 50 million. You know, but I've always heard to
Well, I
aim
must tell
for
you though, Mannings man, that is not. I mean, look here, we can take a while to go where first roll is. We just got here straight. So what we have tried to do this year, although it never worked out fully, is just pattern the English Premier League and the Scottish Premier League how they share up money. So they don't share up money like that. They actually try to make everybody survive. So they don't. So the winner doesn't get that great amount of money more than the second place team because
Okay.
this is for you to put on the show for all these teams to play in a tournament. You want the money to be close. Where the better teams make their money is from sale of players, television rights. They make their money from sale of jerseys. So the better team distance themselves in that regard are able to garner sponsorship individually. But if you make the team that come last too far away from surviving, then your league will not improve. So what we try to do is to make sure that the league improve, and we never try to give the winner that great amount of money over the second place team. It's pretty close, and they will have their individual skills as a marketing and administrative arm to make additional money. And so that's
Okay.
how we try to look at it.
All right. We have a few more minutes to leave because I know you have to go home and prepare, and I have to go home and start going my fast in a my prayer closet and
Yeah,
pray for the game later. And
about
then, you
four
know.
minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna finish now 4 minutes.
Yeah, man. Well, just finally, as you go, any thoughts? What are any thoughts on the game later? Or you feel about it? I mean, what are your expectations? I am predicting a 1-1 score line. I think we're gonna score one. Yeah.
So everybody, personally, I mean, look here, it's not impossible for you to go there and get a win. It's not impossible. It's just that we have probably never beaten them there. We have John, but not beaten them. I think we have beaten Mexico twice. Is twice here? Is here? We have beaten them twice. Yeah, I think we have beaten them twice here. So it's not impossible to win because I always believe that we can beat Mexico because of our superior physicality and pace if we use it to telling effect. But this one is gonna be hard. I mean, they're a red light country. We don't have our best team there. They have their best team. I'm sure they have their best team there. So it's and they don't and everybody know how those countries in that part of the world play. We all know how they play. They play hard, use everything that they can use at their, to give themselves an edge. We all hear the stories, right? But people beating drum at the hotel at night time, etc. So to me, if I get a draw, I'll be satisfied. But I'm hoping that somehow we can pull off a win. Because I think we have a capability to score against Mexico. And Bowser is in fine form. He just scored a hat-trick in his club. So I think we have a capability. Corey Burke has shown that he can score at the highest level repeatedly. It will be interesting though to see our new number 6 play because he has not the debutant. He has never played for Jamaica before. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we'll be able to put up
Who is our new number six? Who is our new number six? Anthony Blake?
Anthony Grant.
Oh, Anthony Grant.
So I'm hoping that we'll be able to put up a good show. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Yes, I think we'll be able to score on them.
All right, so
Depends,
let me.
in that weather, there, it's gonna be difficult for us. So we have to be on top of.
I see some other stuff down here, but let me just get to this one and then I run down to them. Near Sovereign is saying, I'd like to see clubs associated with schools to benefit from the fierce schoolboy rivalry and interest. That energy can benefit the league commercially big time. Is that a possibility and how would that work?
I don't know if it's a. But look here, most big clubs they get players from certain schools. I mean, a lot of our players play in a particular school and in two particular schools. And it's the same for a lot of other teams. But I just know for a fact that the persons who deal with the schools and supply the money for those big teams in the schools to exist, they don't care about club football, not one iota. They don't even want the players to play for a club. So, I mean, I don't think the club can capture that rivalry so easy. And I don't think any one school will have enough good players to be able to participate at the Premier League and be successful. So, I mean, you really need to have to be associated with like 2 or 3 schools to be able to do that, not one.
All right. So here's the next question from Fresh God. Next season, we return in each team playing 2 games, others the same. Meaning, I mean, you have 2 rounds. Are we still the same 1 round? I think that is what he means.
No, we're trying to improve the league. I mean, this year it was 1-1 based on what was happening and based on, I mean, the touch and go. And the government was willing to only give us like 80 games for the season. So yeah, you have to play 80 games. That's it. Although we used to play in the region of 100 odd games, 180 odd games. So now that we have proven to the government that listen, we're responsible. Sports is not a vehicle that spread the virus. That didn't happen. I'm seeing that them being able to say to us now, so okay, you guys did well. Let us free it up and give you more playing time because based on what we want to achieve, clearly 1 round wouldn't have been enough. Two should be the absolute minimum. Two preliminary round and the third round playoff should be the absolute minimum that we could
Because are
try.
there a set amount of games, minimum games that you have to play for it to be an official like
Well,
CONCACAF professional?
yeah, FIFA says you have to play for over 6 months. This time is really just 3 to 4 months.
Okay, okay, all right. And so, um, um, Coach Karumi is saying that my expectation is we control the scoring, goal difference going to be important in the long run. Boy, you're assuming that the man never gonna beat we. Yeah, what we can't.
Well, no, what I'm saying is true still, right? But because
Yeah,
even if you know say you can't beat somebody, stay close. Maybe something
yeah,
might go your favor. Because anything can happen in football. You get one, somebody I beat you 1-0, and you get one corner kick or one free kick and you drop in the box and anything go wrong. And so he's saying the right thing, but him like a coward.
yeah. All right, and Marlon is informing us that Mexico doesn't have their best squad available. Boy, I don't know what is that is the thing. Well, maybe both teams are weakened, but I think our weekend team is not strong as the Mexico's weekend team because I think they have more quality than us. So they may have the edge. I think they are going to be affected also because they don't have their spectators in there. I think that bothers them more than it bothers us.
Well,
Um,
well, I mean, look here. Um, Mexico have 123 million people live there. So, I mean, so they have such a big crowd. So even though people overseas, where people expect it to be another 3 million person live overseas, we're not close to what Mexico can turn out. In addition, they have 120 odd professional club. We're not even close. They have a lot of people they can choose from. I mean, even if they don't have their best players, I mean, the difference won't be that great. It's just like a Brazil team. If you put 11 Brazilians out there, that don't mean they can find a next 11 that is close to 11 that is there. So, while we may not be able to do the same, our best 11 might be much better than our second best 11 and our third best 11. So,
all right. So you know that outside of the CONCACAF license and the what you call them, the UEFA license, you have the YT license, the YTL. All right. So in Jamaica now we have many coaches that have the YTL license. That is a YouTube license. That is a YouTube coaching license. So so Jay anyways I have one of those licenses. So he suggested why would we not just go and play a 5-4-1 and with a depleted squad and hope to hit on the counter with
good,
cores?
good suggestion. But yeah, the coach, I mean, he has assistant coaches. He has opposition research specialists. So I'm sure he has a little team that he works with for advice. So I'm sure that he's in a better position to decide what he's going to do based on the players. You would have seen him in training to come up with his final selection squad. So I have no doubt that he'll play something close to what you put out there. What he will play, I just don't know. But we just have to trust the coach at this particular point and hope that he comes up with it.
Yeah. All right, and then this is an actual coach, people. So if you don't know, he's not a YouTube. He don't have a YouTube license. He have an official license to coach. He said, start the Twin Tower, Shamar and Burke, and play offer them with second ball, 4-man midfield, Fleming, Grant, Devon, Turgot in defense, Lawrence, Mariapa, Alvas, and Superman in goal. Blake. All right.
From you may know you had type fast, but some of them counting and look right, but
Yeah, but 1, 2, 1, 2, 3,
well the
1, 2,
twin tower
3, 4,
fine,
5,
but the
6,
four
7,
man
8, 9, 10.
yeah, you leave out some man, but I see what you try say. I mean
Yeah.
see what you try say.
People. I drop what is going to be the starting 11. So if you don't see it yet, you can check. I did a video earlier today.
And
Who is it?
you know still like him. Him close?
Yeah. No. He is. He has 1, 2 persons that needs to come out.
You hear that coach?
Yeah, there are 2 persons in there that are not supposed to, that won't be starting. In the midfield, so that's supposed easy for him to figure out. And you have to figure out who are the 2. But all right, I know you have 4 minutes, so people, Mr. Speed has to leave because there are other things, and there are other players out here training. What is it for marketing the team better? Every day I get asked this question, Mr.
Right.
Speed.
Except that I know they have plans. My thing is that I never try to interfere in marketing. I just stick to technical finance at the JFF. So let me try to get the answer for you next time, but I don't.
Yeah, can you ask Miss Dunshi if she would like to come on and talk, because I
Yeah,
don't
she
think
need to
people
answer.
I don't think people just need to know where to get what and when. I think that is the
Yeah.
biggest thing right now that is out there. All
Yeah.
right, and the Mexican team a big team, well, that is true.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Is it possible to share more videos and interviews of the players with the fans?
Which one I players? The JFF players? I know that they're trying to get up to speed, with our social media side. So the same lady, director of marketing, I know she was trying to do it. So there's a effort of her trying to do that. So check the JFF website. Though. I think she might have something on the players who are here training now. Probably put some new videos on.
Yeah, and Michael Antonio did an interview today. I think he
Yes.
was on one of the radio stations.
Yes.
But I think though Mr. Speed is a very good point, because here's what I think. Like in to just keep the fans connected and excited, like this whole thing, like hearing from them. Like I should be able to, like I said, be on a screen in the national stadium in my Reggae Boys jersey. So that would put me to buy the jersey, and I pay like I can pay like $5 US, so that the players can see me on the big TV in there. Do I'm at home. You understand what I mean? So because that could be shown on the screen in there. And I'm saying maybe not for this round, but for the next round of home games, if we are going to play here, given in Jamaica what is happening, I think that is a good suggestion, because you're not collecting any resources from the gate, but there's a way that probably you could generate some income.
Oh
So this,
man, anything to collect money, game.
all right, YouTube license, beg you the white license. I don't know what I
I'm
don't
call a
know.
white light.
Coach, what is the white license? I don't know what the white license is. I don't know what the white license is. Explain that. There are no less than 5 major marketing firms right there in Kingston. Hire them on a per diem basis. They would jump at the opportunity.
Well, what you say is correct. We did send out to try to get people to market things for us, but it's not as simple as you think. I
Yeah,
mean,
cause Main Event is one of those company. Main Event is a marketing company.
yeah, it's not as simple as you think. To agree on terms, and then the two set of lawyers, boy, it's rough. Sorry, I can't say, but we try, and there's documentation for us to agree on, and it just kind of start. It's rough
Yeah.
with a marketing firm. So, for the per diem basis, that was not a good basis. We'd have like to hire them so when we make money.
All right. All right. So people, like I said, Mr. Speed, have to leave. I know that. Listen, I know
Yeah.
that several of the vloggers are doing some watch along and thing. You won't be seeing me until after the game. You understand me? If I'm wiping tears or if I'm jumping in joy. Yeah, you understand? I hear you, Mr. Speed. Take you at your word. All right. Yeah, man. So want to thank Mr. Speed for coming on, because, like I said, that he has other things to do. 'Cause remember that there are players still training in Jamaica with one of the coaches, so he has that to do. So won't be able to give us a lot of time. But again, I want to say a big thank you to him for taking the time to come on every week. I mean, whether his team is training or not, he comes onto this platform, discuss the local league and answer questions that are out there to the best way that he can. Again, thanks to everyone. I mean, thanks to Fresh God, Kurt Steele, Neo Sovereign, Coach Karumi, Lloyd Stewart, Anthony, the big bad dog, Marlon Nelson. Yeah, man. What am I missing? I hope I'm not missing anybody. I don't like missing people. Dre Anyweather. Check out Dre Anyweather's channel, doing some great work. Check out the coaches desk. I told you about some of them. You have Ryan LFC, you have the Formula, you have Unseen Sports. Yeah, you have IMAXit. I mean, listen, just go. Everyone is putting out content. Ian Campbell, big up. Top 10, big up. Brian Myton, always on supporting. Travis Pesso, big up for all the persons who watch and maybe you never made a comment. Really appreciate you. Let me remind you again, we are at like 867 subscribers. You understand me? And so here's what I want you to do. If you can find 3 persons that you can say, no man, just subscribe to the channel, what will happen is that the channel will get to 1,000 and we can do more. So help me to do that now. Help me to get to 1,000 subscribers and join the thing. But respect again, thank you. Listen, let's pray, let's hope, let's believe in our reggae boys and give them our full support for tonight's game and for Sunday's game. I will certainly be praying. I'm expecting a positive result. I don't want to close my video without again thanking our nurses and doctors and porters and all the persons who work in the hospitals and in the health centers, people out there giving the vaccine. You know, I mean, I'm telling you, even garbage collection is going on. All of those people out there who are in the pandemic, putting their life at risk just to serve us. Big thank you to you all. And we ask you to keep doing the work that you're doing. Though we as a person or individually may not be able to reward you, in due time we believe that you'll get a good reward. So thank you so much. People, please, I implore you to stay safe. All right, 6 is real. They say COVID is real. And all of a sudden we are meeting more people who said, you know, this person died and that person died. Let you not be the next one. So social distance, wear your mask, and sanitize. Always choose to do the wisest thing. Don't just be concerned about your interests, but be concerned with the interests of others. Always remember that. All right? So yeah, man, so blessings.
I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you a go love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are.
I am sure sports.
Yo, watch about dog. SK New Air this. The body out there. Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say? When you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, you cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Orchard Race, Galtigo Bay. Everywhere. I Am Sure Sports. Check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like? Ha. Yeah, someone on for the food from we young, from we there, you need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.